Hey guys, it's Brian with Real Estate and Economics Today. Welcome to the channel. I have an interesting one for you guys today. So today we're going to be talking about tech layoffs, right? If you've been attentive to the news, seeing what's going on, it feels like every day we're hearing more and more about tech layoffs, right? It's thousands of jobs every day, crazy numbers. So I put together a little presentation for you guys today. We're going to dig into the tech layoffs and talk about what's going on, right? So let's get right into it. So here's a quick overview of a couple of companies we're going to be discussing today, right? We have Dell laying off about 5% of its workforce. We have PayPal. We have Salesforce laying off 10%, guys. We have Microsoft laying off a ton of people, DirecTV, AT&T and Verizon, and also T-Mobile. And something I want to share with you guys today is that I was actually personally impacted by these tech layoffs. So as a lot of my friends and family know, I've been in the wireless industry since I was 18 years old. I started off with AT&T while I was going to school at Rutgers. I was there for about 5 years and I transitioned over to T-Mobile. This year would have been 10 years of T-Mobile, folks. And I was impacted during these tech layoffs. So stay to the end. I'll let you know a little bit about my story, what happened to me there and how we're doing. But stay to the end, I'll give you more details. All right. So let's get right into it, folks. So first company we're gonna kick it off with is Dell, right? So Dell lays off 6,650 people, folks. A lot of people. Dell revealed to the Securities and Exchange Commission that it's slashing 5% of its workforce. As per the last annual report, Dell had 133,000 employees, meaning that they're going to lay off roughly 6,650 people, which represents about 5%. As per the COO's decision to slash jobs was due to previous measures that they had in place that were no longer enough to help the company respond to the uncertain market conditions, guys. This is something you're going to see a lot of throughout this presentation. A lot of the COOs, the CEOs, they refer to uncertain market conditions, right, guys? These are the head honchos, right, folks? These are the guys that have the absolute best resources. They have the best data, and it's coming across their desk daily, right, guys? And they're all saying the same thing: uncertain market conditions, guys. What are they seeing that you're not seeing? That the mainstream media is not telling you. They're seeing things, folks, right? These are the folks that have access to the best data. And they're seeing things in the market and getting ahead of it. And in Dell's case, they're laying off 5% of the workforce, which is a ton of people, guys. Another reason that Dell has actually laid off so many people was actually that global shipments of PCs were actually down 28% year over year in the fourth quarter of 2022. On top of that, guys, shipments at Dell were actually down 37%. So 11 points higher compared to the market average in terms of a negative loss, right, for the same time period. So while the market, guys, is down at a total of 28%, Dell's down 37%. So that's a lot, guys. And as we get into some of these articles, you'll see they mentioned Apple. Apple's actually down 2% year over year, way below the 28% average. But the fact that Dell is 37% compared to 28% market average, that's bad, guys. That's not good. So that also led to, the massive amounts of job cuts. But Dell, right? Dell isn't the only computing brand to be impacted, right? Back in November, HP announced 6,000 job cuts. That's a lot of folks also, guys. That's from HP. Lenovo also laid off an undisclosed number of workers, right? But the broader tech industry has been impacted by the downturn in the economy, right? So we have, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all announcing layoffs, mass layoffs in the recent weeks. So let's get into some of these articles, right? So let's get into the CNBC article here, where we have, again, Dell laying off about 5% of the workforce. Here's the stat I told you in regards to the 28% down in Apple, etc. So Lenovo was actually down 28%, right? So they're right in line with the market. HP 29, a little bit above the market average, but Apple, right, great company, very innovative. They have a big, following and fan base. They were only down 2% year over year, compared to Dell, which was down 37% year over year, right? So things are slowing down, folks, right? People aren't spending as much on young computers, right? Part of it's supply chain issues, but part of it's, economic challenges, right? People don't have the same amount of money. They're not spending crazy amounts of money, right? Companies, instead of hiring and having to order PCs for their employees, they're actually cutting jobs, right? And reducing the amount of demand that they need for some of these PCs. But this is Dell, right? This is Dell. They're cutting 5% of the workforce. It's a lot of people, folks, right? So, we'll get right into the next one. And the next company we're going to get into is PayPal, right? PayPal lays off 2,000 people, guys. That's 7% of their actual workforce. PayPal announced plans to lay off 2,000 people, or 7% of its workforce, according to a release posted on the company website. President and CEO Dan Schulman wrote in the release that PayPal is working to address the challenging macroeconomic environment. Again, guys, challenging macroeconomic environment. He said the company has made progress focusing resources on 4 priorities and right-sizing its cost structure, but there is more work to be done, right? So what is that more work to be done, guys? Firing people. And it's unfortunate, guys. These are 2,000 jobs that are lost at PayPal. And the unfortunate part about it is, folks, is that these were probably people that were there from the beginning, right? There's probably folks that, helped get the company off the ground, have been there a long time. And now that the company's taken off, things are not looking certain in the economic marketplace. So what do? They're laying off jobs, right? They laid off 2,000 people. And by my understanding, these are high paying jobs, guys, right? This is not, little Jimmy working, in the retail store getting paid $15, right? This is, $70,000 to $100,000 plus jobs that are being affected due to these tech layoffs. During a call with analysts after the company's Q3 earnings report, acting CFO Gabrielle, I'm not going to try to say her last name, talked about the company's projections for 2023. She has said, "We're operating in an environment where we think we're going to continue to have inflationary pressures, where real wage growth is going to continue to be negative for a period of time, where discretionary spend will be under pressure," Gabrielle said. "We're navigating the environment as best we can, and we've taken into consideration that range of outcomes on volume growth and on revenue growth as it relates to what we think we can deliver from an operating margin and EPS standpoint," from CNBC. Shares of PayPal are actually down 50% over the past year. So let's get right into this article. All right, guys. So the next company we're going to talk about today is Salesforce. Salesforce lays off 7,000 plus people. Salesforce is cutting 10% of its personnel and reducing some office space as part of its restructuring plan. In the letter to employees, CEO Mark Bainoff said customers have been more measured in their purchasing decisions, given the challenging macroeconomic environment, which led Salesforce to make the very difficult decision to lay off workers. So again, guys, the challenging macroeconomic environment. People are becoming more measured in their purchasing decisions, right? Think about your own life, guys. Are you guys more measured in your purchasing decisions, right? Are you a little more conscious about what you're spending money on? If you are, a lot of other folks are too, guys. And this is something that's affecting Salesforce, which has led to 7,000 plus people being laid off. Salesforce will record charges of $1 billion to $1.4 billion related to the headcount reductions, and $450 million to $650 million related to the office space reduction, the company says. Analyst led Brent at Piper Sandler, who have the equivalent of a buyer's rating on Salesforce stock, estimated in a note to clients that cuts would lower operating expenses by $1.5 billion. So that's a lot of operating expenses, right? That's $1.5 billion worth. That's a lot. Or more each year, and widen the company's operating margin to 26% from 21%. That's from CNBC. So $100,000 to $150,000 jobs, guys. Savings of $450 million in office space and about $1 billion in salaries of 7,000 people that got laid off equals out to about $142,000 per person, right? So, guys, these are $100,000 to $150,000 jobs. These are head of households, folks, right? These are people who are making 6 figures plus. This is not your entry level. Little Jimmy lives at home with mommy and daddy, gets paid $19, $20 an hour, living in the basement, right? These are people with mortgages, folks, right? These are people with car payments. These are people with credit card expenses, kids, families, right? Being put out in the streets. 7,000 of them, right? And now we got to this number here, about 142,000. That's the $1 billion, right? Related to the headcount reductions, right? You divide that out by the 7,000 people. you're getting about an average salary of $142,000, right? So guys, think about it. Where are 7,000 of these people about going to find $100,000 plus jobs, right? Like they say, normally the money you make, right, matches your lifestyle, right? So if these guys are making $150,000 a pop, right, they're not, they're not driving maybe a little car, right? They got something a little bit better. Maybe they got a nicer apartment or a nicer house to match that lifestyle, right? Because as we all know, just human psychology, you tend to live up to the amount of income that you make, right? Some folks are definitely a lot more prudent, a lot more intelligent, in my opinion, right? Where they live below their means. But you guys, as you know, that's not everybody, right? Most folks, they live the lifestyle around the amount of money that they make. So, if you have somebody making $100,000 to $150,000, and then they lose their job, where are they going to find another one, right, guys? To make that kind of income. If you're not set up, if you don't have some type of passive income or a side hustle, some extra money come in, these folks could be put in a tight spot. One person I do know personally that got laid off at the company I was recently with, he's in a tough spot, right? He has, a wife at home, doesn't work, has a couple of kids, just bought a new truck, has a hefty payment on it, right? And now he lost his $100,000 plus job. What's the guy going to do, guys, right? Is he going to send his wife back to work, right? That has 2 kids at home? Doubt it, right? Is he going to sell the car? I don't know, maybe, probably could get something a little bit lower. He has a high mortgage, right? He just bought a home a couple years ago. And the mortgage payment's probably about $3,000. What's he going to do? Is he going to get rid of his house, guys, move into an apartment? Probably not, right? So he's going to try to stick it out, maybe find something else. Now, will he find another $100,000 job that easily? I don't know. I don't think so. It might be tough. But that's why you guys got to get set up, folks. You guys have to make the decision to, start developing things outside of your job, right? Start a little side hustle, get a little passive income under your belt, just in case these companies, that decide to lay you off one day, you're set up and you're ready and you're not putting yourself and your families in a tough financial situation. So let's get right into the CNBC article we have here in regards to Salesforce, right, guys? So Salesforce, according to CNBC, cutting 10% of its workforce, 7,000 employees. It's a lot of people, folks, right? We talked about the measured buying decisions and the challenging macroeconomic environment, right? Not to mention, this company let go hundreds of employees back in November. So this is not a new thing as of now, right? These companies have all been laying folks off for the past couple of years, especially the past year. So, things are tough out there, guys, right? So, let's, you guys got to look out for yourself, right? You got to create a little side hustle. You got to get into real estate. You got to get a little passive income on the side, something that could bring a couple extra dollars in case you're hurting potentially, right? So the next one, right? This one has gotten a lot of press. A lot of you have seen it, and there's some interesting dynamics behind this one, right? So Microsoft, another company, another big household name, lays off 10,000 people, guys. And what's crazy to me about some of this stuff, guys, is that some of these companies aren't losing money, right? Microsoft's not losing money every year. Maybe next year they're not going to make as much money as it did this year, right? Or maybe they're not going to hit that projected, projection that they have that they're supposed to hit. Maybe they won't hit that, but these guys are not losing money, guys, right? So if you're not losing money, why are you laying off 10,000 people, right? It's because of the challenging economic, challenges that are coming out, in the near future. It's unfortunate, guys. If you really think these companies give a shit about you guys are completely mistaken, right? All they care about is the stock price, right? These companies aren't losing money. Some of these companies are not losing money, and they're still laying off people, right? You're affecting people's livelihoods when you lay off 10,000 people at Microsoft. And guess what, guys? These are the Microsoft retail employees, right, at the mall, right? These are not those jobs, right? These are the $100,000 plus jobs at Microsoft getting laid off, right? This is not little Jimmy, little Timmy making $19 working at Microsoft, right? Goes downstairs, get a little Starbucks in the mall. No, it's not that guy. It's the guy that's making $100,000+, right? That has a family, that has a mortgage, that has car payments. People that are, they're probably single household earners. These are the folks getting cut off at these big tech companies, right, guys? They're reducing salaries. They're trying to save as much money as possible. Honestly, I think it's a little greedy, right? If you're not losing money as a company, why are you laying off so many people, right? The job cut presents 5% of the global workforce. The CEO of Microsoft This is an interesting one, right? Check this out, guys. We'll continue to invest in strategic areas for our future while divesting in others. And I don't know if you guys saw the latest news. Microsoft invested $10 billion in OpenAI, right? If you guys know ChatGPT, that's OpenAI, right? Microsoft invested $10 billion with a B in OpenAI, right? So they're investing in strategic areas, but they're divesting in others. To me, it looks like they're investing in AI and they're divesting in people, in salaries, right? So, a massive investment, $10 billion, guys, that's a lot. That would value ChatGPT, OpenAI at $29 billion, right? That's a lot of money, folks, right? So these guys are investing a ton of money. I'm going to get into the New York Post article that talks about the layoffs, right? This comes directly from the New York Post. Microsoft announces laying off 10,000 workers. Difficult, but necessary. Necessary. You spent $10 billion on investing in OpenAI, which I think is a great investment, right? Because that is the future. But, not necessarily necessary, right? You didn't have to, right? The right thing would have been, keep these 10,000 people employed, right? So as we get into the article, right, here's a couple things we talk about. That more layoffs were planned for the new year, right? So we got more layoffs coming, guys. Microsoft said the in-hospital economic climate marred by reduced customer spending forced the company to rearrange its priorities. So again, guys, challenging, unpredictable climate, economic climate, reduced customer spending. What that says to me, guys, is, recession, depression, whatever you want to call it. Market conditions are changing, right? You have companies laying people up. Things are a lot more expensive than they used to be, guys. So this is the time to be smart, right? This is the time to be smart with your money. Either invest it, save it, be more conscious of where you're spending your money, right? Because things are getting ugly out in the marketplace, right? And these 10,000 people losing their jobs, it's unfortunate, right? Especially from a company that's, not losing money. So, this is the Microsoft story. It's unfortunate. It's a great company. Microsoft everyone has some type of Microsoft product at home, most folks. And the fact that they're laying off 10,000 people is kind of discouraging, guys. But, look, it is what it is. You gotta take care of yourselves. You need to, start up a little side hustle, get some passive income under you, because things are, not looking great right now. And the next one, guys. So the next one is DirecTV. So this was an interesting one too, right? So DirecTV, right, lays off 10% of its management staff, right? Management, guys, we're talking about $100,000 plus jobs. This is not, the sales rep, door knocking that you see coming to your house asking if you want DirecTV. This is not, the call center located in another country where they're paying them pennies on the dollars. No, it's not these folks, guys. These are the management staff, right? These are the $100,000 plus jobs. So DirecTV is laying off hundreds of employees, right? Roughly 10% of its upper ranks as the company looks to reduce costs, according to people familiar with the matter, as per CNBC. Managers make up about half of DirecTV's fewer than 10,000 employees, one of the folks said. So that means about 500 upper management positions got slashed, guys. About 500 $100,000 plus jobs were just eliminated at DirecTV. And as you guys know, right, so cost reductions come as cord cutting accelerates, right? So I'm sure you all are familiar with the cord cutting terminology and idea, right? I know I cut the cord years ago, right? I used Netflix, Hulu, Discovery Plus, etc., Fubo TV, and I cut the cord, right? I don't need DirecTV, super bloated, terrible customer service, expensive for no reason. So a lot of folks are cutting the cord, right? And this goes in relation to satellite TV and, distributors such as DirecTV, as per CNBC. DirecTV and its peers have long been under pressure as customers cut the cord and opt for streaming services. Like I just said myself, right? Years ago, I cut the cord. The rate of cord cutting accelerated in the third quarter. So let's go right into the article. So DirecTV lays off hundreds of managers, right? Again, a company that is, losing subscribers, right? What do folks do, guys, in challenging economic environments, right? inflation squeezing folks all over the place. So folks are looking to cut costs any which way they can, right? Maybe they're not going to Starbucks every day. Maybe they're making that coffee at home, right? Maybe they don't want to pay $150 for a DirecTV subscription. Maybe they'll just, pay $20 a month for, Netflix, another $20 for Hulu, maybe some Discovery Plus, and guess what? They cut their bill in half, right? So that's what people are doing, folks. In this economic environment, they're cutting the cord, they're saving money, and what does that do for these companies? They get calls and jobs, right? And what are they doing? They're going after the high-paying jobs first, right? They're going after the managers here when it comes to DirecTV. So another story, right? Another company laying folks off. And if we get right into the next one, AT&T and Verizon, right? They lay off a combined 9,400 employees, guys. That's a lot of people. It's almost 10,000 people these two companies are laying off. AT&T attributing to most of the cuts, right? About 7,000 cuts, largely to investment in new systems and technologies, right? New systems, right? A worry in the ChatGPT era for those who fear automation will hollow out the workplace. Look, I think ChatGPT, automation, AI is going to be amazing for the future, guys. There's no doubt in my mind. But do I think it's going to cost some jobs? I think so, right? I think things are going to change in the near future. And this is only going to accelerate, guys, with time. So, do the best that you can to be the best version of yourself, right? Make yourself more valuable in the marketplace, right? Because, when AI comes, guys, and starts, hollowing out the workforce, you want to have options, right? You want to have different ways of making money and different skills that you can, leverage to, make yourself more marketable in the marketplace. Like many companies, we are transitioning to the next generation of technologies in the digital economy. Wow, we're transitioning here, right? Look at that. Said a spokesperson for the operator. At the end of 2021, when the company had 118,000 about employees on its book, and indeed, by September of last year, Verizon's headcount actually rose last year by 1,100 jobs. Since then, however, it has dropped back down to 117,000. That makes for actually a net reduction, guys, in 2,400 roles at Verizon in the last 3 months of the year. So companies like AT&T, Verizon, guys, maybe not AT&T, maybe AT&T, but not Verizon. Verizon's not losing money year over year, folks, right? Verizon's making money. Verizon, they make a ton of money. But they're reducing roles, guys. They're reducing 2,400 roles last year. And there's probably more to come, right? That's just the beginning. But, again, guys, these are high-paying jobs. These are everyday companies that are making money, right? They're not laying people off because they're losing money. It's their projections for next year, right? All these guys care about, folks, is making the stockholders happy. They do not care about the people, guys. If you really think they give a shit about you, you're gladly mistaken. They care about dollars and cents, right? They care about the stock. Because guess what? If the stock's not performing, guess what? Guess who has the heat? CEO, upper management, right? They're going to get them out to put somebody else in there. So what do? They try to cut jobs, right? They try to save money. So, this is AT&T, Verizon, cutting jobs, letting people go. Unfortunate. And our last slide today, T-Mobile, folks, right? The company that I recently worked for, that I was impacted during the layoffs. Now, to start off, and to be fair, T-Mobile has been fantastic to me, guys, over the years. Like I said, I was going to be there 10 years this year. Long time I spent with T-Mobile, right? I was good to them. They were very good to me. They offered me a very generous severance package. Throughout the years, T-Mobile has been a very good company, very fair company to me, so I have nothing bad to say about the company. Would I have liked to possibly stay longer and continue to develop my real estate portfolio? Yes. But, that's just not how the cards played out. Luckily, thank God, I, made some right decisions over the years, right? I purchased, some income properties. I got some passive income coming in that covers my expenses. So, I'm in a good situation where, hey, I could take the severance, that could be okay, and I can focus my time to do things like this today. Creating these PowerPoints, gathering information, researching and presenting to you. Giving you some updates on the market. So luckily I am in that position. But guys, I know a lot of people that I worked with that are not in a similar position, right? A lot of folks that I have worked with at this company, they're not doing well, right? They're, mentally they're worried, right? They just lost, $100,000 plus job that they've been working for a number of years. And, they don't have anything to support them, right? They don't have any passive income. They don't have any side hustles. They didn't set themselves up. Throughout the years that they've been working there, they've been living above their means, right, guys? They're spending more money than they're making, right? They're not putting away savings. So out of nowhere, these people lose their jobs. What are they going to do, right? We have people with mortgages, head of households, car payments, credit card debts. Yeah, the list goes on, guys, right? And now these people are in a very uncomfortable position where, you know, they're scrambling, they're looking for new roles, right? So, guys, if you haven't already, please start thinking about your future and your family's future, right? Get into real estate, pick up a couple investment properties, right? Develop a side hustle, get some extra passive income coming in the case that your job that doesn't give a shit about you fires you from your six-figure job, you still have something coming in that helps you out, that holds you up, that doesn't put your family in financial risk, right? So I can't say too much about the T-Mobile topic, right, because it's still confidential. I can only report what has come out in the news. But, you know, that's my take on T-Mobile. Like I said, they were very fair to me throughout the years. You know, I developed a career there. Working there, I was able to purchase real estate. You know, I was able to set up a couple of those side hustles. And, you know, thank God today, you know, I'm okay, guys, right? You know, I have enough passive income, covers my expenses. I'm free, right? I have time to do now whatever I want. You know, take some time off, you know, mental health break, get back in shape, right? And just maybe pursue things that I've wanted to pursue for a while, but I didn't get a chance to because, you know, I was working full time. So thank you to T-Mobile, right? You guys were great to me. But, you know, got laid off, unfortunate, but hey, life goes on and, you know, bigger and better things will come. So, like I said, can't say too much because, you know, held to confidential terms, but I will report what is in the news. So as per Fierce Wireless, right? It's unclear exactly how many layoffs are happening, but Wave 7 Research estimates 600 territory, dealer development, and rural indirect sales managers were affected. I was a rural indirect sales manager, right, guys? I had a portfolio of stores that I took care of, right? I had a bunch of T-Mobile stores. I had Metro stores. I had Walmart, Costco, Best Buy, etc. All of them in the territory, and I managed all these doors. So guys, these were high paying jobs. This was not, again, little Jimmy. I know I use this term a lot, but it's not little Jimmy working in the retail store, making $15, $20 an hour, still lives at home, mom and dad, right? These are folks that were head of households, guys. The carrier declined to offer specifics on the scope and scale of layoffs, right? You know, a lot of these companies, they don't want to get too into detail, about these layoffs, but, you know, that's, basically how it all went down, guys. So, once again, thank you for joining us today. You know, like and subscribe, join the channel. And again, this is Brian with Real Estate and Economics Today. Thank you.